Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Braden, Tim, Second Legacy, you are amazing, and thank you for showing up. Today, we have got a special treat for you. This is one of those videos where I've put together a collection of tyranny and anti-freedom actions and haven't told Tim what we're talking about, so you get the natural, raw reaction. This usually happens when there's a high level of stupidity indicated, so I cannot wait to see what happens. So, as we're going through this, guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. We've got to pierce through that YouTube pesky little algorithm to make this a mainline channel, and thank you for that support and that quest. All right, Tim, here I'm going to lay it out. Look, little teaser. What would you say if I said sanctuary cities were a thing? They were good. They were great. But now San Diego just passed something called super sanctuary cities.
Oh, it's a super, well, I mean, there's still a couple of steps here that they're escalating. So there's super, there's super duper, and there's double dog dare you.
And ludicrous speed.
Yeah, and ludicrous speed. So now there's super. Oh boy.
Super.
Yeah.
That's, and before we actually show you the super, I think there's parts of this that we can co-op for the Second Amendment. We're going to tie it all together. But I think the lefties are onto something here. This is coming out of San Diego, and what I'm about to show you is a clip from a Republican, the one person who voted against this. And he's explaining why. And some of this stuff, you can't make this up. This is not parody. This actually happened in San Diego. Dr. Slides, play this from 0 until about 111, please.
I think this policy goes beyond California's existing sanctuary laws by adding an additional layer of bureaucracy that hinders local law enforcement from directly notifying ICE about illegal immigrants who are currently in our jails, and they have committed heinous crimes, including child abuse or endangerment, driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, but only if this conviction is for a felony, possession of an unlawful deadly weapon, gang-related offenses, a crime resulting in death or involving personal affliction or great bodily injury, possession or use of a firearm in the commission of an offense, torture, rape, and kidnapping. That's the population we're talking about. So under this policy, and if a legal immigrant commits one of these serious crimes, San Diego County would be legally prohibited from directly coordinating with ICE. This effectively protects the offenders from deportation, allowing them to remain in our communities where they could cause that same harm again.
So, Tim, what stands out to you in the first salvo of the super sanctuary cities idea passed by San Diego?
What stands out to me, it's absolutely ridiculous. They just want to basically every single criminal under the sun, any criminal act all the way up to and including murder, it seems like. They don't want to hand anybody over to ICE. They're going to super protect them. And I think I think that old Tom Homan has something to say about that, because if they don't hand these people over to ICE, he's already told them in no uncertain terms, we're going to arrest you for interfering with a federal investigation.
And that's what's so interesting, because the impetus for this entire little super sanctuary city move that they're making is because the Trump administration is coming in. So they're going to protect those that are going to get deported, including people convicted of rape, torturous behavior, assault, and the other thing was child molesting. Thank you. Yes, it's weird because they're so obsessed with not letting people get deported, they're keeping felonious individuals who are not citizens just to prove a point.
Yeah. I mean, what is the upside to this?
Mind-altering.
Like, what is the upside to allowing these violent criminals to stay in the United States? What is the argument here? Is it a humanitarian thing that they're trying to argue? That they're people too? That, child molesters, rapists, and murderers deserve a little empathy and some public housing and food stamps? I mean, what's the argument here?
It seems to look like that. But, it's okay, though, because they're the party of common sense, right? I mean, because obviously we're just hateful,
very common
jerk faces. But something else that I find so interesting before we go on with this, Tim? Did you catch the firearm crimes that he was talking about?
I caught a firearm crime. Yeah.
Well, there was possession of a firearm and use of an offense, and then illegal possession of a firearm is what they call it, right? So both of the things that they consistently rail on in the Second Amendment, both things that are saying we're bad. Two-way affirming people are bad because they have Second Amendment rights that are outside the licensure of the state. And then criminals are using those guns, which is why we should get rid of all legal guns, unless you are an illegal alien who has been arrested and in jail for felonious attempt at offense with a firearm. Then you get to stay. It's fine.
Yeah. See,
guys,
so here's
it
the
can't
strategy.
stand together.
So here's a strategy. So let's just say you're a criminal and you want to off one of your drug rivals. And so you decide to go off your drug rival. That seems the prudent course of action under the Biden administration would then be to flee to Mexico, give up your U.S. passport, surrender it at the local embassy, get a Mexican passport, and then illegally come back into the United States.
Genius.
And you're good to go. They'll give you free housing. They'll protect you from ICE. They'll keep you from being prosecuted, and then you may wind up with an Obama phone and some free public health care and schooling thrown into the mix.
You got to, because humanity.
I mean, it seems that I mean, because apparently American citizens are held to a different standard than criminals that have come across the border illegally to commit
all day, every day,
wild crimes.
Tim, you're always over the target. Nailed it. Now we're going to turn this on its head a little bit. You know that whole SAPA thing in Missouri, the Second Amendment protection area, where they basically said federal or state dollars aren't going to go to anybody in the federal affiliated relationship, like ATF, DOJ, FBI couldn't come in and utilize Missouri's state locality.
And didn't the Biden administration freak out and start suing everybody?
The DOJ sued it, and then they're still in the process of getting it sent through the courts. It's pretty high level now. Andrew Bailey was I was talking to him on my channel about it. And what's so fascinating about this entire thing, imagine this on the other foot. Say Missouri were to pass a super SAPA law that said anyone arrested with any type of gun crime that they don't deem an actual gun crime because the Second Amendment protects the right to keep and bear arms, now is just not in jail. We're just going to release them. And the DOJ is going to be, those individuals are going to be shielded from the DOJ and the FBI because, after all, it is the state ordinance. Imagine how they would handle that.
Yeah, they wouldn't. But, they can do all this stuff, and all this is political showboating, guys. I cannot wait.
Not here. Not in San Diego. This is real.
But no, they're really doing this, but they're really going to wind up getting arrested by federal authorities.
Oh, yeah, I'm down with that.
I believe Tom 100% when Tom Homan says, I'm telling you, do not cross this line. He has said this many times in national media. And he cites the statute, and he says it is a federal crime, a felony to harbor and protect an illegal alien from ICE. And I will prosecute you. I will come for you. I will flood your city with federal agents if you do not comply. And so these people, I think it's pretty funny. They always seem so tough when they think they're shielded. But the minute one of them gets arrested, they're going to be out there in social media screaming bloody murder. Like, oh, my gosh, the injustice is because my skin color is just not quite white, not quite brown, somewhere in between. But it's on the spectrum of bigotry. And it's all because of that. Yeah, it's just going to be a mass chaos, and then they're all going to scurry and distance themselves from it and pretend like they had nothing to do. It wasn't me. It was I said no. This is nuts.
They're gonna pull a Zuckerberg and right before inauguration, be like, "Hey Trump, we still cool, right? Here's a cool meal. We right? Okay.
Who can I write a check to? We're good. We're good.
We're friends, right? Yeah, right? We're not upset. No, you like me, right? You're not gonna
let them do all this. And this is totally expected. Because the left always thinks that there's some Billy badass, and they're not. They're covered in Cheeto dust, sitting in their basement, before they wind up somehow getting elected to the Senate and wearing a hoodie in the Senate, which does happen.
And then having a stroke and all of a sudden waking up being based.
Yeah. Did you notice that he actually joined Truth Social and posted just recently and said that the cases against Trump were bogus?
We're bogus, right? Anyway. That's Fetterman. That's another thing.
Oh yeah,
all right.
I'm joking about
I got
Fetterman
one more
here.
portion of this clip. I want to show you this, and then we'll go jump to something else.
Altered. And these tragedies are preventable, but sanctuary laws allow them to happen by allowing illegal criminals back into our communities instead of into the hands of ICE. San Diego County is already spending $5 million annually of taxpayer money to provide legal counsel for illegal immigrants facing deportation, no matter what the reason is that they're being deported.
This proposed. All right, so he just said something that I want to set up camp on just really briefly. You remember how, Tim, we've said multiple times on this channel that the gun control apparatus, the Giffers.org, the Evertown for Gun Safety, they are not organizations that are just there to do good, is what they say. They're actually corporations. Like they have inflow, they have outflow, they have full salaries, they have money donations, they have revenue streams. They operate as businesses, right?
Yep.
These guys in California, this $0.5 million of taxpayer funds annually are being sent to lawyers in the area, immigration lawyers, to help illegal immigrants avoid being deported. You want to know why they won't ever get rid of the illegal alien problem? They won't ever talk about the border problem. They won't ever do anything different, even though it's obvious. It's because they've built an entire economy coming from the federal government or the state government into their areas where lawyers are getting a whole lot of money that's state funded to perpetuate the problem.
Well, but because there's other reasons too. Yeah.
Well, no, of course. But I'm saying if you get rid of it, that economy suffers.
Right. And it's true. And look, and you know, that's been the argument of the left the whole time. It's like, well, who's going to pick your tomatoes? I mean, it's so bigoted what they say. It's like some of the comments I've seen on X is so funny. It's like, I mean, I just can't wait. You know, these maggots, they decided, which is a take on MAGA tea.
Yeah.
Right. Some people might not get it, but all these maggots out there complaining about the price of eggs, just wait until their lawn care prices go up because all the Mexicans are shipped back home. I mean, they're literally saying these things.
I do my own lawn care.
Who's going to pick your cotton? You know, it's like you people have been bigots since the founding of our nation. I mean, the left, they hate capitalism, but they love their indentured servitude. You know, they do in slavery, and it's always been them behind it.
God.
And it's just so funny watching them out there defending it yet again.
God, what? Every time, dude, every time.
But am I wrong? Oh,
tomatoes. No, I know. And your answer is always, am I wrong? So I love that. You went with who's going to pick our tomatoes. And I was like, okay. That wasn't that bad. That's a good example. They do say that. And I'm like, we're a safe zone. We're good. And I'm sitting here thinking, it's a really good point. And he's like, but who's going to pick our cotton? I'm like, and there it is.
Well, that's taking it back to the Democrats in the 1800s.
No, I know. It makes sense. It checks out. It does
it's been
check
ongoing.
Out.
You know,
it is historical.
And all these people coming across the border, they're sending children across the border unaccompanied. These people are winding up in the sex trade by the tens of thousands. They're winding up having to work off. Like these coyotes charge them thousands and thousands of dollars they don't have. And so they get them across the border. Then they have to work these highly laborious, low-paying jobs just to pay off the coyotes, or else they get killed or their family members are murdered. And it's the same thing as slavery, and they're defending it.
Hey, not to change the subject from something we're not going to get banned off of.
What? It's the absolute truth.
It is. I know.
Anyway.
By the way, I would just like to say this: the sentence "it's the truth" has ended with so many different organizations getting banned off the internet. What? It's the truth. Oh God. All right, so
COVID was man-made. But it's the truth.
There's a third little notch on this video. That little algorithm's going bonk, bonk, bonk.
Nah, I'm just kidding. It was from
allegedly.
It's a wet market. Yeah,
wet market. Oh my God, a wet market. That's right. 4 years ago. Which is more likely. This just in. Coming out of a wet market where some people ate some bats, they've contracted a new coronavirus that jumped from species to species magically. Then it became airborne. Never happened before because, whatever. Yeah, dude, that's exactly right.
So anyway. It could have come from the bioweapons lab or the wet market across the street. Take your pick.
It's either one. Either one. I mean, they're both from Wuhan. In fact, one's called the Wuhan Weapons Bio Lab. But other than that, no, don't worry about it. It's the bats.
Pure coincidence. Yeah.
I mean, God almighty.
Just
anyway,
double
wow, that was a rabbit trail.
Yeah,
God, that was a rabbit trail. So anyway, I always have Twitter pulled up while we're talking just to make sure I don't miss anything. JoJo has emerged, Tim.
Oh, no.
Big
we
news.
need to do a welfare check.
The welfare check, that's what it was with Time Magazine allowing Trump to be the man of the year. I'm going to send this over to Dr. Slides because this is new. She's here. Like we've arrived. She is alive. She's not happy, but she is alive. Here we go. Firstly, are you effing kidding me with this? And secondly, it doesn't even look like him. What the actual F, Time Magazine? Dude, this woman's insane.
She is, dude.
Oh, God.
I knew this would drive her nuts. It
Oh yeah,
doesn't even look like him. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's hard to tell. Is that
and presidential
Hitler?
too.
Maybe if you did a little, it's
Little
hard to tell.
whoop,
Yeah,
one of these.
it's it's hard to tell. I mean, I know, and that's the first thing that pops in her pointy little head. It's like it doesn't even look like him. That's your gripe. That's your complaint. When they put Hitler on the cover of Time magazine, and that's your gripe. Hitler doesn't look like Hitler.
He doesn't look presidential and look good and look powerful and look strong. He's dumb face, and I don't like him.
That potty mouth.
Oh, she really is a potty mouth.
She is such a sweet person.
Oh,
I can't imagine why she's not married. And yeah.
Oh no, don't go. That's personal. Don't do it. Allegedly.
What?
She can have a very loving relationship
It's really
with
shocking.
someone with some beta male who absolutely loves getting berated. You never know. There's someone out there for everybody.
You know, and look, the technology has evolved to keep her looking attractive because, you know, you just put on the Vision Pros and then you get the augmented reality and then all the filters she uses to keep herself from looking like a crackhead because she is a crackhead.
This is where it goes. This is okay. I'm like, stop.
Allegedly.
Yeah, that's important. So let's go back to the thing that's not going to get us banned, the super sanctuary cities. Oh my God. Wow. Squirrel. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
I'm glad she's okay, though. I'm glad she's okay.
I was really worried about her.
Yeah, let's finish this guy's clip so we can end this video and not get banned.
Too late.
Legislation
I
to
put
me
in the extra
seeks
effort
to prioritize the interest of illegal criminal immigrants over the safety of law-abiding immigrants and citizens. I don't think we can continue down this path. Sanctuary policies are like these shield dangerous criminals, undermine law enforcement's ability to protect our communities, and actually put our lives at risk. We cannot let San Diego County become the next headline for an avoidable tragedy. These policies aren't just flawed, but they're reckless and they endanger every member of our community. Let's prioritize safety over politics, justice over ideology, and protection of innocent lives above all else. I'll not be supporting the item. Thank you.
Nope. Instead, I'm just going to no. It's more important we win elections. And we're going to do that by getting tens of millions of illegals into the country, and then see if we can't convince Biden or somebody else to pardon them and give them automatic citizenship or something. And then they're going to become voters. They're going to vote for us because I think that's the end goal in all of this. That's why they're willing to put up with the murderers and the rapists and the pedos. I mean, you know, you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet, right? We need the vote.
Sometimes.
So I think that's what this boils down to.
I think you're over the target. But the bottom line, super sanctuary cities, felonies, even the gun crimes which conflict with all the other gun propaganda they spew and infringes of the 2A, $5 million economy boost for a never-ending problem, which is funded by a federal crime, and San Diego's still crazy. Did I cover about all of it?
I think so.
All right, well, let's wrap.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks, California, I wouldn't even call it a laugh. I mean, this is... It's interesting to say the least. You keep us on our toes, and thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys soon.